Hello, hello, hello. It's Anne Lewis, your independent Stampin' Up demonstrator based on the Sunshine Coast here in Queensland. Now, I will just throw me up. How are you all? What a week it's been in Queensland with flooding, torrential rain, and I've certainly had a lot of rain here, but my house is safe. But if, my heart goes out to anybody who has experienced just the terrible flooding, which is pretty close to me, but my house was safe. So thanks, everybody. I'll just turn on the comments and let me know where you are watching from. Thanks so much for joining us today. Today's project, if you may have seen it right at the very start, I've got two projects. One simple, basic stamping, and the other one using the same stamp set, but the addition of some dies, an interactive card. So I'll show you in a second when I throw down to my desk. But what I am showcasing is this Hooray for Surprises stamp set and the coordinating dies. Now for me, I have to say this is the stamp set that I would recommend anyone just starting out on their Stampin' Up journey, and I'll explain why. This is the stamp set, I think, for both catalogues, so both the annual catalogue and the mini. Now, before we get started, I have well, it's not a confession, it's probably, it's been a week of adulting. I live in Queensland, which is the melanoma capital of the world. And if you follow my page, you know I'm outside an awful lot. And so I have had a number of sunspots, that's a nice way of saying it, taken off my skin, mainly my arms and my hands, because they're what gets in the sun when I drive. So my hands are a little knocked about, but hopefully it doesn't look that bad. It just, you will notice it. But it's what I need to do to keep safe and well when you live where I live. Hello, Glenda. The two Glendas are here, Sharon and also Chris. So let's get started. I'm going to throw you down to my craft desk. Okay, I'm going to get started. Now, there's a couple of things. I've shown you this stamp set, but I suppose you're going to be going, why have you picked that stamp set as the one you'd recommend to anybody starting out? And I'll explain it because it is, I'm going to grab a little pokey tool. It's called Hooray for Surprises. It's in the Mini Catalogue, and I'll go and grab my Mini Catalogue in a second. The thing that I like about it most is it has these great sentiments, and they're fairly, you can use them for lots of cards for different reasons. So hooray, I can't wait to see you. Make a wish, you're the best. You are simply amazing. Hope your birthday is wonderful. Sending you lots of love. And it's got these other three little words here: open here, pull, and for you. Now, these I'll show you what they're for, but it also comes with these images. So there's a birthday cake, so perfect for birthdays, and it's a 3-step stamp. So you're going to, you stamp the cake, the candle, and then the candle light on the top, and you can do them in colors or whatever. It also has this image, which stands by itself, or you'll see me use it in a slightly different way tonight, as well as this floral stamp image here. And I'm going to show you what I did with that as well. So I just think it kind of covers all bases. And if you only got one stamp set in your kit to start off with, this is a pretty good one to start with. So I'm going to put that out of the way for a second. Now, I'm not going to be showing you this how to make this card, but you hear me talk regularly about three-peats. So 1, 2, 3, they're all the same. I've done them in different colors, so you can pick your favorite colors. The colors is irrelevant. You just pick whatever you like. As you see, I've got the cake, the candle, and the candle light. I've backed it on some designer series paper, which is, I just used the Be Mine designer series paper, mainly because I had this little piece left and it went with the black background, which is, I've got to look it up, rock and roll something, I think. Rock and roll designer series paper, so it's pretty close. But it has some really nice, it's got some images of music, but it has these really nice geometrical pattern paper that is great for backgrounds. So I'm not going to be showing you this, and I'm just, as you see, stamped in the center and added a little strip of matching designer series paper. I'm going to put that one away, but I did use, I've got them here, the perennial postage dies, which are probably the ones I'm going to most at the moment. Added a little feature. If you don't have the dies, that's okay. You could just cut 3 pieces of coordinating basic white cardstock, which I'm going to grab a ruler, if I can find my good ruler. I've got a good ruler here. I've got lots of rulers, as you know. This is my favorite little one. So these squares, just if you're trying to make your own card, are 1.5 inches by really doesn't really matter, but 2 3/8. So you just need 3 of those, stamp on it. You don't need any fancy dies. I just added the dies to show you that you can make a little feature. But I am going to be showing you how to make this card, which uses that flower that I showed you before. I'm going to change up the colors because I always like to show you how different the color can actually make your project. So if you are watching, leave a comment. And I should show you this. I'm also going to be showing you how to make this card. Now, I don't want to pull it open yet. Oh, actually, I will. It's an interactive one, comes with dies, all out of the same bundle. I'm just going to, when it cuts, and I'll show you this in a second, I don't want to pull it all the way open because I don't want to waste this card. But, so it's got like a, not a serrated edge, it's got these, hasn't cut all the way through, but when you open it up, you get this fancy insert. So it's an interactive card. I've got one little piece left. So I'll stick that back. So I'm also going to be showing you how to line this up, how to make it work, and then how to make it pop, because I kept this fairly simple. A lot of layers. I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Basically 6 layers, but that's what gives it its luxury. So let's get going. Let me know where you're from. So to do this card this time, I'm going to be using Soft Sea Foam, Lost Lagoon, and Night of Navy. I always think these colours work really well together. So my card base, as you know, will be standard card base. I just about use this on every card I make, 8 1/4 by 5 1/2. Then I've got a piece of Lost Lagoon, which is 5 inches by 3 5/8. Now I have another piece here, but I won't give the size of that yet because I'm going to be changing that once I've stamped it. So I've used this stamp set a fair bit today, so I've got to make sure it's nice and clean, which I'm pretty sure it is. Because with this stamp set, it has quite a few grooves, catches the ink, so unless you clean it really well, it's going to be, ink stays in it. So, as I said, my colours are Lost Lagoon, Soft Sea Foam, and Night of Navy. Now, to make a card like this, and I've done a similar card using different supplies, probably once every 6 to 9 months. But I always make sure I have 3 images of the big images in one colour, 3 on another, 1, 2, there's one down here, and 3. This one is Lemon Lime Twist, Sweet Sorbet, and Petal Pink. I don't mind the colours, but it turned out not to be a favourite. But I make sure I have basically 1 full image in each colour, and then I'm always stamping off to the side, and you'll see how I work. Now, my Night of Navy isn't that juicy because it's been used a lot and I haven't re-inked it lately. And I will just, so I'm not pressing too hard, I'm just making sure. I just see I missed a bit there. So on this card, remember I'm going to be doing 3 of each colour, but only 1 will be a full actual image. So the others will go in the corner. There's no right or wrong. I'm not doing it exactly the same as I did it last time. Of course, this is a clear stamp set. I can see, I don't know whether you can see that, but just here, I've missed a bit of ink. See how, I'm no good at this. I'm delayed. But I've missed a bit of ink. So I need to go back. That's where having photopolymer stamps, so the clear stamps, actually helps. That's looking a lot better. So it's not actually. I'll press that a little harder. That's okay. I'll put this one down here. So navy is my featured colour. And maybe over here. I'm going to be cutting this down to size. So there's my navy, and I need to clean that up. And because this is one of those images that traps the ink, I will clean it twice. So I'll clean it once with my chamois, and then just to make sure, because I don't want navy in my other colour, especially the soft sea foam. So I'll clean it twice. Put that away. You can see, look at that, I've got navy on my fingers. So I'm going to be doing the Lost Lagoon. Now it's a newer stamp pad and I haven't actually even tried it, so we'll see how it goes. It's a lot juicier, so you can see. So see how it's gone into the marks here. Now, hi Marianne, and thank you, Sharon. I'm glad you like the cards. I'm starting from simple and then going up. Now, because juicy ink pad, I'm going to push some of the ink out of the way. I don't want to take it away because I don't want to waste it. I couldn't use paper towel. So I'm just using my bone folder and gently shifting a little bit of that ink out of where I'm going to be stamping. Now there is a lesson here. Clean that off straight away, because I did get a little bit on my sample for tonight because I didn't clean this straight away. I know. So let's see. So that's how it looks. I'm not sure you can see, but it's not really defined. So let's try it a little bit better. I'm hoping that you fellas can hear me. let me know that you can, because my earphones are plugging in and out. That's better. So I'm not pressing hard here. So these are interesting colours. And remember, I've got to get a full image somewhere else. I'll just keep that space there. So I'll grab my chamois. This is why I have a chamois, and I also never ever put my stamping scrub away because I use it so much. Chamois is great for short term, but when you're using colours like this and an image like this that collects the ink a little bit, I've got to be a bit more careful. Put that out of the way. I'll just do the soft sea foam. Let me know what you think of these colours. Thank you, Glenda. Oh, I know. Now, I'm just going to hold up. So I've got the soft sea foam. Can you believe that it is, that Celebration is already, oh, I didn't get enough ink on that. So let's be brave and let's try. If I hadn't realised that before I inked up, it would have been a bit better. But let's see how we go. I'm normally pretty good at this, especially with these stamp sets. So let's see if I can fix this. If no, that's not working, so I'll have to work out a way that I'm going to fix that. This ink pad, I think, is a little dry. I have no doubt it's a little dry. I haven't used this one for a while. So this is what happens when you decide to do things a little different. I don't. So now, so what I might do here is this actually comes with a die, this stamp set. So when I finish, I won't do it probably now, but I might die cut using, I've got to find the dies here. They're sitting on my desk somewhere. Here they are. One day I'm going to overtip this chair and going to end up. So to solve this problem, you know how I always say there's nothing that you can't fix. This is another one of those instances. So I can just die cut one of these flowers out, and I'll see if I've got some design series paper. See if I can get this looking a little better. Whoa, did you hear that? One of my dies dropped on the floor. Not a good thing. All right, let's see if I can. I've got to do a bit of die cutting in a second on the next card. Let's see if I can get this. As I said, there's not a lot of ink on here. Let's see how I go. That's looking a little better. So that'll hide that. This is what I say. There's always a way that you can fix something. Don't have to start from scratch again. Just have to think outside the box. And to be honest, I would have always have liked, my little bee's getting in the way there. I would have always have liked to add a little dimension, but I was keeping it simple. So I'll cut that out and it'll go on there, and that's okay. Now I've got, as you see, a little bit of white space, and I don't want that much white space. And there's a lot of ways, but I'm going to fill that. But I'm going to be using the stamps that come with the Hooray for you surprise. So I'm going to use, it's got a little flower here. You'll see what it looks like when I stamp it. Now it's such a tiny little flower, but you've got to make sure that you get all, I don't know, 6 sides of it, because otherwise it'll half stamp, and we don't want that. So I'm hoping you can see how gorgeous that is. So I'm not going to put, I put so many on that first one. You know that old story of let's add some more, and then you've added just too many? Well, it was that. So this is a lot easier to clean, this one, so I won't have, I'll just use my chamois to get to the next colour. Now quite often I would go from light to dark, so if I did make a mistake you wouldn't see it in my ink pads at least. But I like the navy and it's my featured colour. I know, so I missed that. That was sitting out in front of me a little bit. There, see? You can fix things if they're not perfect. There we go. And I'll see if I can get some of that soft sea foam coming up here. Let's see if I can pick up. So I'll see how that's stamping. It's stamping. It seems it's just in that center part I've got a bit of a problem. I'm not going to add too many. I've learnt my lesson from that last one. 1, 2, 3, and that's plenty. Now I've got a little heart here. Make sure I can use, oh, there's a bit of red left. I'll add some really light hearts. So I'm just going to keep this in the soft sea foam. Not adding too many. Just those last little bits somewhere. And one more. See, there's no right or wrong. Just where there's, there we go. So this one isn't anywhere near as busy as the other one. Now remember, I'll cut that out, that piece out later and layer it on, but I won't do that now. I'll wait till I bring out my mini cut and emboss. Just hiding these a little bit. I'm looking for my layers, which seem to have walked off my desk somewhere. I don't know how, here they are. So here we go, I've got my Night of Navy. Whenever I do these cards, they always end up in landscape cards. But I want to cut this down a little bit because I've got this contrast behind it, which will look nice, and we'll pop it up a little bit. Now remember, this is 5 inches by 3 5/8. So my, sorry about that. I want to cut this down. I decide how I want to cut this down now. It does change a bit because I've got to keep that, to keep this image on to hide that. I'm going to need that hole. So if I'm cutting this down, I just want it to be 4 7/8. I think I've got to cut this side down to do that. So I lose a little bit and I'll cut this down to 3 1/2. Only cutting a little bit off. Now these pieces I always keep because I could use those to decorate the inside of the card. Let's put this on here. Some of my multi-purpose glue. Wait a minute, I'm missing your comments. Put a sentiment over it. Well, that would kind of work, but it has to be a pretty big sentiment. Otherwise, that's another strategy I do have. So it was a good idea, Glenda. Robin, how gorgeous is that little flower stamp? I agree wholeheartedly. And that's the thing, it's so flexible. And I've only used 3 stamps and pick colours that I like. So you can use whatever colours you have. So there we go. And I'm going to just pop that up there. Now I'm not going to add the sentiment because I want to see how this is going to work, because I may have to change my sentiment. So we'll just zip this through. Pop this up. Grab my pokey tool, which, as you know, has had a fairly checkered life. It needed some surgery on it. When I stood on it, I broke it. We're still going strong with a little bit of duct tape on it. Just checking comments. We'll put that like that. Now on the on the inside, which I've got a piece of Lost Lagoon, and I'll put that out of the way. Let's just stamp this. I'm going to do the Night of Navy on this. As you see, I really like this stamp set. So just in the corner, and we forgot that it was going portrait. Now, if you are having trouble stamping any photopolymer stamps, all you need to is add a mouse pad, or I use my, how nice is that image? So cute. Now I'm going to just add, which stamp set? What have I got on? Oh, I don't even know what I've got on the front yet. Not sure. But I'm going to put You're the Best. I'll do that in Night of Navy. So I've kept this very simple. This is such a good technique. You're just using a couple of coordinating stamps and some of your favourite colours, and then layering your cardstock. There is no limit to how many times you can use this technique because it looks different every time. So You're the Best. Oh, I need my piece here to put this on. I just mark mine so I don't get confused with all the sheets of paper sitting to my side. Put this here. A few turn this up. So you've got the idea of this technique, and you can see how versatile those stamp sets are. You'll see I can hide this in a second, and I'll then add a sentiment once I see how that works out. So which card do you like out of these? Just assuming, remember, you're not going to see that because it's fixable. Having trouble with my earplugs tonight, really. That's better. So which one will you go with? The one on my left hand, this one, which has the sweet sorbet, that red, or the Night of Navy one. So let me know which of your favourite colours. And don't forget, today, as every other night, or every night I remember, is that I will be sending a one of these cards out to someone who leaves a comment on my page. Now, I'm going to turn this back over. This is my grid paper. Let's start with some clean grid paper by turning it over, because I've got the measurements here on the side, and I'll walk you through those measurements. Now, I'll show you. I'm just bringing over my pieces. So we're doing this card here. As you see, it's got this like little secret opening. I've kept it a standard card as well, so it still does have a sentiment on the inside. But I really like this little feature, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So, and I had, this is the feature I started with, so I did it in Lemon Lolly, and I was going to show you how this opens, so just in case you missed the first time. So it's got the die that cuts this has these little pieces so it doesn't cut all the way around, so then you can pull this out. Now normally this would be stuck down, and then you get to see something underneath. You get to choose what you put underneath. So, and you add a little sign here, as I did here, open here. This also comes with pull, but I kind of liked open because then it's a little more obvious, but you could pick whichever one you liked. Does the blue get any bling on it? Oh, wait a minute. I will just come back to this card and give me a second. How could we not have bling? Thank you for the reminder, Glenda. But I have to walk around to my bling box, which doesn't take very long. So I've got, this is my annual embellishments, but maybe, look at these. These are nice, and they're quite big. They've got some of the colours I've used here. So they've got soft sea foam, they've got clear, and they've also got the Lost Lagoon. So what a good idea this was. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to use that one. Oh, no. I'll use the clear on the navy. And when I add that other... So is this what you were thinking of, Glenda? Does the blue get any bling on it tonight? I like the sunny one. Oh, so not the blue. I know. So I need something else, and how I've stamped this, that's not going to work, but I'll have another one down here. So when I die cut this piece, I'll add a piece of bling to that, and that'll go down there. So bling added. So there's a few people telling me they like the blue. I know. I'll get rid of the bling to make a bit more room. Otherwise, it'll get a little confusing here, and we don't want confusion. Now, there's a couple of challenges with this, so I've got some tips for you. Now, the first thing I've cut out is, well, if I start from the bottom, three basic white squares at 2 3/4. So hopefully you can see that. 1, 2, 3. And I'll explain what they actually are. I've got to pick up that die before I lose it. It spilled over. Does make me laugh. There's never a lot of room when I do Facebook Lives. Wait a sec while I get back on my chair. Alright, so you need 3 pieces. You're going to grab the die cut that, I'll show you the die, this die here. I'll put it closer to the camera so you can actually see. I'm hoping you can see there's some little spots where the cutting edge doesn't go all the way around. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 there. And what that does is allow it to stay joined just a tiny bit. Now, so you're going to do, if I bring back this piece here, you've got the top piece here, so that's that one, and you've got an under piece which you don't die cut, right? So you're going to put one of these away. Then the other one you're going to use as a template, and you'll see there's 2 interactive, where's this stamp set? It's under here. There's 2 I need the dies, to be honest, not the stamp set. There's 2 interactive pieces. So there's the heart, but there's also this piece here, which does exactly the same. So you can peel it back, but they are one use only. You can't kind of keep peeling them forward and back. But the template system makes it work really easy. So what I'm going to do is line these 2 up. I'm going to decide where this sits, and I know I can't put it exactly in the middle because of this piece here. So it does go over to the edge just a little bit. But I do make sure those 2 are in the middle. So I'm going to grab my little mini die cutting machine, and I've got something that excites me, may not excite you. I've got my plates here. I've got some more to show you from this set, which is sitting somewhere on my desk. But so I've got the thin die adapter, I've got my 1 plate, and I've got a second acrylic plate. I got new plates. How good is that? So I'll keep the bottom plate to die cut on and keep this one nice and clean. And eventually this one will become the bottom one. And that's how I make them last. How am I going to do this? I might do it this way. See how that looks. So remember, I've got two of these squares here. I'm going to put them both through at one time. Now, I wouldn't normally recommend that for normal cardstock, but our basic white cardstock is slightly smaller. I've got to make sure these are lined up so that top square is matching the bottom square. I've got this, so there's a little space at the bottom. And if I'm happy with that, I can put this piece on. Now remember, for our mini cut and emboss, you're going to have these offset. So I might have to stand up for this because, as you know, this is one of those I always have trouble with die cutting with my arms. I know. Now we'll put it through a second time. I'm sure I don't need to, but just to make sure I've cut through both pieces. I know. So that was pretty easy. I'll show you what that looks like in a second. Now, where's my other little die cut that I'm going to cut for that previous card? Here he is. So let's do him at the same time. Now, I haven't worked out how to line this up yet. Where's that might be it. Right. So all I did was pick one of the more prominent petals and line that up. So here's my plate. So for me, the mini is so much easier with my arm as it is. And you've seen me with the bigger one, and I struggle getting it to go through, not because it's difficult, but because my arm doesn't like that angle and doesn't have a lot of strength. I'm going to throw that back in there, pop this up. Let's just finish off this card whilst I can. See, looks fine. Get some dimensionals to pop it up. I'll add a sentiment later off air. But see, fixed. I'll add one of those bling pieces of bling, which will balance it out a little bit. And normally I only add 3 pieces of bling, or odd numbers, but this one, I've got to line this up a little bit. There we go. I might take that off there, because it looks a little silly right on the very edge, and put that one there. So there we go. You wouldn't even know that there wasn't ink under there. Anyway, so back to this card. I've got to find my pieces here. These are the pieces I just put through. Oh, I don't want to break that off. Nearly did it. I know. So this one I'm going to use as my template. So I'd already half pulled that off. I could do something with that. So this is my card. That's my template, and this is what goes underneath. And I use this so I know how to line it up under there. Now it's more important with that long skinny one I just showed you. Let's get going. So on the inside of this card, I have sending lots of love. I want it lined up. It doesn't seem to want to do. So I'm going to do this in the Night of Navy. Just checking comments. A little hard. I've got everything a little crooked here. Sending you lots of love. And then, as you saw on that original card, which is, if I just pick this up, remember there's only hung on by one, I then use this stamp set. I'll stamp that ink off a little bit, and then I'll clean it up in, and I'll show you how I got that really light colour, because I don't want it to overwhelm the sentiment. I want it nice and light. I've got all the navy off that. So I'm going to use the boho blue. Now, all I've done is softly pressed it in there. I'm going to stamp it off once, just on the scrap piece of paper, just gently. Then I'm going to come back to this piece and stamp it over, which provides that lovely background. So that's a really good way of adding just a bit of interest to the insert. Remember, that's my template. So I want to keep that. I can use that another time. I've now got 2 templates. Now I need to get that out of the way. I need to get this really nice stamp into the center there. Now, there's a couple of ways I could do it. I could have stamped it first, then die cut it. But for this one, and I very rarely say it, it's easier to line up by looking through here. Even though I didn't clean it in between, it'll be fine. As I said, I don't need to remove ink from this because it's not a really inky, just making sure there's ink, full coverage of the ink through the stamp set. I've got to line this up, which is always a little hard. So I've got cameras and phones and lights in between me and lining that up. But I think I've got it. that works. So now what I'm going to do, I need to clean my fingers. To get a bit of ink on them. Got a bit of ink on the case, I think. I'm going to put that out of the way. So now the first thing I'm going to do is to get this here. Before I stick this down, I want to pick this little piece up and bend it up so it's apparent to everybody that that's the bit that you pick up. Then I'm going to use my multi-purpose glue. I've done all the hard bit now. Now it's just putting it together. It's really simple. Oh, I've got one other thing to do. I forgot that, but we can do that. So I'm lining this up. Have to make sure that I don't put any glue on that heart. Otherwise, it's not going to pop up like I want it to. Yep. Now, I can't open that up, otherwise this card won't come together. Oh, now I found a little piece that I'm looking for. Hopefully the rest will turn up. I'll start another one. I know. So then all I do is I start oh, I've got the Hooray to put on there. I'll find that stamp set. I don't. So it says Hooray, can't wait to see you. So it's from the same Hooray for Surprises. I'm going to grab, doing it differently. On the first one I did, I just used a marking pen and coloured it. But I think how this stamp set sits, I think I can just line it up on the ink pad, and only because I only want the Hooray bit, I don't want anything else. So let's see if we can do this. The reason I'm using the ink pad is it is a little darker than the markers. So let's go and put that down here. All I'm going to do is center it. Look at that. Perfect. So that's a nice way of only using another technique for just using one part of the word. Now it's just going to be, let's put this together. So my colours here are, I've used the basic white. I'm now putting this onto the boho blue, and my boho blue is 2 7/8 inch square. Everything I made was a square. So what I've basically done is designed a card, the size of the card, around this image, and added as many layers I can to make it look kind of special and jump. And you can see how quick it comes together. So this piece, Night and Navy, 3 1/4. So my next piece is 3 5/8. I'm running out on it. It's a little hot tonight. So you can see how quick it comes together. The only bit that needed a tiny bit of work was that center. And once you work out how to do it, they're pretty easy to come together. Now I want to make sure. Now this is from the Countryside in Designer Series paper, and it's all blues. Well, blue and white anyway. So it was the perfect Designer Series paper. It's got little foxes on it, the piece I've selected, but you're never going to know that. Now, my final piece, this piece, wait a minute, final outside piece, is 8 1/2 by 4 1/4. Now, I did it as large as I possibly can. Now, that means I can only get one piece out of each A4 sheet. If you cut it down and did it at 4 1/8 inch square, you'd get 2 out. I was just wanted to get it as big as I could. So then I'm going to pop that on there. So it's got a little tiny border. And you say, why would you do 4 1/4 and no larger? Because I wanted to keep it in our C6 envelopes. So I didn't, one, have to pay more postage. And I can use our standard size envelopes. And I'll show you what I mean by that. Might want an envelope here. I do. So it just fits in. So easier to use. If I made it bigger, I'd need a special square card. I'd either envelope. I'd either have to make it myself. Now the inside of this says "You're simply amazing," and it's in boho blue. So I've got the boho blue here. Skinny stamp, so you've just got to be a little careful that you don't rock it. There you go. And then had something down in the, whoops, that's the wrong one. Had something down in the corner here. So I put another one of those flowers. Let's check. I think that'll be fine. Just a little flower in the corner. How simple is that to decorate the inside? And now I've got ink all over my fingers. I need to clean my ink pads a little bit. I've got a bit of ink around them. So this piece is 4 inches, and the boho blue piece is 4 1/8 inches. And I'll just show you how I attached. This is a little off center now, but I'll show you how I attached that little open here sign. There we go. So I've already cut out the piece. I'm going to pick this up, and I just want to slide it under there. I don't need all. Take the cover off. Just need that little piece. So up there. Now I don't mind that hanging over the edge, but if you do, you could just pick the pull one. Now, so I put it on the right side here. I could use a glue dot, which is probably a little safer. I'll line that up there. Okay, so now anyone knows how that will open up. So that's the inside of the card. That's the outside. I'll leave the cards, and I'll show you the cards that we've done. So I just have to add a sentiment down the bottom here, which will probably be, could be you are simply amazing again, because I like a long skinny one. Normally I do a birthday one. That's the open here. Can't find my little birthday one that I've got out on my desk, but that's what I would normally put. Just a happy birthday there. So I like that. Wait a minute. Not showing up on my desk very well. Ideo. So these are the cards that I've showcased tonight. So would you have a go at that interactive one? Hi Lynette. Hi Chris. Ideo. Would you have a go at that one? It's a simple card once you work out that you need a template. And I did want to show you some of the other die cut pieces. So there's that piece, and then you can cut the same heart out and back it. So I love that look. I don't know whether you can see the pool party peeping through the lemon lime twist on that one. It's got a bit of greeny green. It's actually the card from last week. And I did have another couple of pieces. There's so many pieces in here. So you've got the flower. That's the one I've just shown you. there's this one also. So it's the same idea as the heart, but it's a straight circle. It's got the cake die here, the pull tab, and it's got some little leaves and this little cute flower, which I really like, which I have cut out to show you, but it's slid under something on my desk and I just can't see it. So, which card would you be happiest doing? Would you keep the quick and easy one like this? And remember, there's a repair there, but you wouldn't even know. You could make that the first design feature, because I like having that second pop-up. Or this one here, and I'm just looking that I can only open it. I'm trying to keep that last little hook in there, or that one there. So I love this idea. It's such a cute idea, and it adds something a little different to our cards, and I think anyone would love to get this card. So no, I'm not sure anyone's leaving any comments. Tell me which card you like. So be 1, 2, or 3, because it does help me if you let me know which one you like, because normally that's the one you'll get in the mail. So leave a comment, and I will see you next week. Hopefully I'm not in the wars next week. And we're coming up to Valentine's Day, so I've got a Valentine's card in the offering, and then I think we need to move to some Easter ideas. Now, I don't have a lot of stamps for Easter or for Valentine's Day, but it's a way of using what you already have to get the most out of them. So I'm coming back here just so oops, wait a minute. That hasn't worked. Oh, yeah, that's not the view you want. I've stood up to try and get some of that stamping done. Anyway, thank you very much for joining us tonight. I really appreciate it. Don't forget, celebration is halfway through. If you still have some things on your wish list, now's the perfect time, because with every $90 you spend, you'll actually receive a free product from Celebration. And this die and stamp set that I've showcased tonight, so this bundle actually gets you, I am pretty sure, right up to the $90. I need to check that, but it's the perfect thing, and you then get to pick something free from the Celebration catalogue. If you haven't got a catalogue, let me know, and I'm happy to send one to you. I've got to say, I love this comment by Marianne. Love the blue with the mistake. It actually made it better. And you're 100% right. I think that this one here, which is a little hard, let's see if I can get some light on it. Whoops, is with the pop-up actually does look a lot better. Now I could add some Wink of Stella, which you know that I really, really like, to this card, and that would even add a little bit more bling. But having it pop up makes it look not as flat, and so it adds a little bit more visual interest. So to be honest, as I said, I would have made it with an extra layer on it, except I was trying to keep it really simple and just use the stamp set. But if you got the stamp set and dies, that's perfect, unless you want to fussy cut it as well. So thank you, Marianne. It's always nice to know that we can fix things. And Glenda has said she likes, I'm pretty sure that's the one she's calling the sunny one, and it is pretty. It's got lots of colours. And Glenda's got a card from last week as well. So thanks, everybody. Really appreciate your support. And don't forget, any of these products are available from my online store. The link is included in the description for this live stream, but you can find me at annelewis.stampinup.net. Thanks, everybody. Have a fabulous night, and hope you please keep safe in the flooding and out of the floods. So thank you.